Of course, Emmanuel Antania won it in 2011. But the guy who won it in 2009 and 10 we're going to be seeing in the professional final, I would guess, Andrea and Sarah. So it's a very good ground, isn't it, John, for them to go forward?
Yes. Yeah, it's important for couples to try and do as well in the amateurs before they move into the professional ranks.
Absolutely. And these Chinese are doing so well now, especially in the ballroom.
It's a fantastic market. Chinese have really taken it like a fish to water and are really an emerging nation in ballroom and Latin dancing.
Yeah. There we have the reigning champion. They're dancing well tonight though, aren't they? They really do look like the champions. They're controlling that floor.
They have the confidence to move and introduce subtlety and softness whenever they choose. And that is the mark of a champion.
And Lukash there going forward.
Do you know what I love about this Chinese couple is that the boys, you've already mentioned it, the boys' back line is so soft.
Yeah. Yeah,
and yet
with the discipline,
perfect. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, so the core strength they have. Maybe it's from sitting on the floor all the time, John. Maybe we should start that in England. Because whereas we had, I think, 5 or 6 in the semi-final, not one British couple in this final. Number 5, there's Marek and Paulina. They are also dancing very well tonight. I love that colour on this floor.
It's a beautiful colour, absolutely beautiful, and was quite popular tonight. I noticed in some of the earlier rounds.
It's the gliding, the feet, their control, the power through their feet that they have.
Yeah, it's a combination, isn't it, of softness and power.
Yeah, yeah. So we're back to the ballroom now, John. And of course, you being a 10 dancer like myself, you were at home in both of these styles.
Yes, when I first did this championship, I did ballroom first. Then I did Latin, then I did ballroom, and then I stuck with the Latin after.
Yeah, well, it's but you had a very good Latin girl there playing. And of course, you may have noticed from the accent, he's not quite English, this guy.
Not quite, no.
Although you've been sort of here, how many years have you been here?
Well, I've lived here longer than I've lived, certainly a lot longer than I've lived here, about 30 years now.
Andrew and Karina there in this final, I think for the first time. Chong and Jing. Again, we talked about this backline, didn't we, John? You know, it's fantastic.
Yes, tango I find is an interesting dance for the ballroom dancers. Sometimes the soft dancers can struggle with this.
Yes. So Dorita there, though.
No trouble for this couple.
No, Marek and Paulina, they have that power through the legs, through the shape, through the body. Nice slow contra check there, but then that shows the differences, doesn't it?
Yes,
the speed.
Nice slow movement into some quick speed. It's all about control and acceleration.
Yep. Cash there. This is one of the dances that he maybe loses a little bit because he's got such body flight.
Yes.
That is not needed in the tango.
They're very tall dancers.
Yeah. Emmanuel and Tanya, they seem to switch from the flight dances, the swing dances to this tango.
Great foot speed there.
Yeah.
Connection together.
Yeah, the passion of the dance, you can see that. Flashing backwards now to Andrew and Karina. Just a small bump there with Marek.
Thank you very much to our amateur competitors.
But it's an incredible final. I mean, it's so difficult to call.
Welcoming our amateur ballroom competitors back onto the floor and judging panel D. We're going to their third dance, ladies and gentlemen, and it is, of course, Viennese waltz. Thank you, Ross.
Yeah. And I was saying earlier, John, that this dance looked beautiful and looks so nice, but it's such a difficult dance to keep. You know, to keep that posture because of the rotation.
Yes, it's the law of physics, isn't it? Rotation for two objects to rotate around. They have to be as one. So the dance in itself, the dance structure is quite simple, but the technique is quite difficult.
Yes.
Two people to keep rotating around.
But it's also that speed of rotation on the natural turns there, where you have to keep the foot flat because there's no chance to rise and fall, as you see there, so well illustrated by Manuel Italia. Drawing in that flat foot to the side to keep the body flat, so you're able then to take the weight to drive through onto the next step.
Yes, I think that's this is a perfect example by them why they have been champions.
Marek also showing very well that technique. Slightly right there on the front half. Yeah, it's good dance. This is where Lukáš also comes into his own because he's got such long legs. He can swing so powerful.
Yes, free swinging, isn't it? Free movement.
Nice slow contra check there to finish the dance off from Chong Jing.
Ladies and gentlemen, showing your support as we welcome our amateur ballroom competitors back onto the floor. May I also welcome judging panel D. And this time it's the slow foxtrot. Thank you, Ross.
My favourite dance of all 10 dances, the slow foxtrot.
I think the slow foxtrot has the best music. It's fantastic.
It has swing, it has emotion, it has this sort of slow rhythmical action. Chong Jing there doing a great weave. Third feather, which is not so easy as they make it look. And I like that change of rhythm then on the back feather. Lukáš looks a little bit tight tonight to me. I'm not sure whether you agree with me. His left arm looks a little bit tight.
There's a little tension, isn't there?
Yeah.
Such a big occasion.
Yes, yes. Whereas Marek there is showing just how easy and smooth.
Amazingly, it looked a little congested.
That's Andrew and Karina. I believe this is their first time in this fight, isn't it, John? I'm not too sure. I haven't got all of the records here in front of us tonight. It's you can see the studio we're sitting in. It's rather small, John. Rather bijou, I think is the word.
Comfortable.
Yes, well, I wish you'd stop moving around on my knee. That's the problem.
Ballroom event, ladies and gentlemen, give them your support. Every moment that you've got left in you, bring the house down, please, as they go into the quickstep. Thank you, Ross.
I think I've got.
Sorry?
In my own mind, I've got seven. I've sorted them.
7. There's only 6 in this final, John. So who else are you putting in?
Well, that's it.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're all dancing so fast, you can get a blur occasionally, can't you? Yeah. But, I mean, it must be very interesting, the Polish championships, you know?
Oh, yes.
You know, these 4 all making the final. Which 2 represent Poland at the World Championships?
Now, this is the dance where they love to accelerate.
One of them, Marek and Paulina.
To be light on their feet.
Yeah. Nice and light. Straight across the floor.
Fred is staring.
Chong Jing. Sometimes the only thing I think about the Chinese is they don't have this personability, this sort of like emotion in their dancing.
Yes, and of course each dance has its own special type of emotion.
I mean, there's no doubting their brilliance, but it's just that one little ingredient that's missing for the other Polish couple there, Andrew and Karina.
Yeah, and aren't they moving well and staying together? Key ingredients, of course, of ballroom. Moving as one. To gap.
Yeah, Sergio and Dorota also from Poland. And just to make the full setup, that's Lukáš and Alexandra So now we've seen all the 4 Polish couples. So which one would you mark to win the Polish Championship then? Let's make it easier for you.
Ooh. I might go to Poland one day. I don't want to say.
All right. Lukasz, now actually his top line now is a little bit easier there. So Emmanuel and Tanya, do you think they've done enough?
I think so. I think just the overall.
Yeah, they have that more sort of
just a little bit
composure on
better
the
in
floor,
each department.
Yeah, yeah.